Daniel Cormier recently shared a conversation he had with Justin Gaethje after news broke that Dan Hooker had to withdraw from their fight due to a broken hand. In the wake of the announcement, several lightweights including Renato Moicano, Mateusz Gamrot, and Rafael Fiziev offered to step in on short notice. DC revealed that Gaethje is determined to stay on the card, insisting he'll fight anyone and doesn't care who the replacement opponent is.
But moving forward, Justin Gaethje is still fighting. I called him this morning, and my immediate question was, do you have any plans to not fight this weekend? He goes, are you crazy? That's Justin Gaethje. He goes, are you crazy? Of course I'm fighting. I said, what's up, JG? What are you doing? He goes, I'm sleeping. It's 7:30 in the morning here. I thought it was 8:30. I thought he was in Central Time. I'm on the West Coast. I thought it was 8:30, but it was 7:30. He goes, of course I'm fighting. I said, well, there are guys that are picking their hand up going, I want in, right? Rafael Fiziev immediately said, let's run it back, JG. Renato Moicano said, I want in. 2 weeks is plenty of time for me to get ready. I want in. So I asked JG, who do you want? He goes, I don't care. He goes, I don't care who I have to fight. I'll fight any of those guys. I said, but for me, I want you versus Renato Moicano. That's what I would like. I think that's a fun fight. And I think that that fight looks more to people like the fight against Dan Hooker, what we were all expecting.
Fight announcements. Christian Rodriguez versus Melquizael Costa is set for UFC Mexico on March 29th. Both fighters are making remarkably quick turnarounds. Rodriguez defeated Austin Bashi by unanimous decision last month, while Costa secured a first-round submission win over Andre Fili at UFC Seattle just days ago. Junior Tafa is set to face Tuco Tokos at UFC Des Moines on May 3rd. Tafa enters the bout following a second-round TKO victory over Sean Sharaf in October. Meanwhile, Tokos aims to snap a two-fight losing streak, with his most recent defeat coming via unanimous decision against Navajo Sterling in December. Dustin Poirier recently explained why he dislikes Michael Chandler so much. The two fought in 2022, with Poirier securing a victory via rear naked choke in the third round. Poirier reiterated his belief that Chandler is a dirty fighter, and admitted that just thinking about their fight still makes him angry to this day. Dustin said, a long time ago I was at a Bellator event. Comes in the back, I just wanted to come over and shake your hand. I respect you so much, man. Your career has been awesome. You've had so many great fights. You've come back from adversity. So nice to finally meet you and shake your hand. Fast forward a year, 2 years, whatever. He makes it to the UFC. Now he's talking trash on me. And then I saw him in Vegas. He was coming to an event at the T-Mobile Arena, and that's the first time I saw him since. So I say, you little bitch. He walked in front of me, security comes over, and I said, man, you fake motherfucker. I will beat your ass. And then they booked the fight. He's fake, bro, and he might be a good person at home, but my personal experience, he's fake, man. But we do this knuckle shit, so I was even more mad. Let's fight then. And he's a cheater. Bro, I could go on for days. I get so amped up about this. I get pissed off. He does all kinds of stuff. Blows the blood in my eyes after I break his nose. That's cool. I've done that before, but I admitted it after. And then Chandler, I brought it up, and he said he didn't do it. Just admit it, bro. You're so fake. Then he stuck his fingers in my mouth to lift my neck up for a rear naked choke. He's on my back. I'm trying to get off the fence. He sticks his fingers inside my mouth, grips my mouth guard, pulls my head up to try to get his hand under my chin. Bro, I bite his fingers so hard. Let me tell you what, you heard it here first. If I didn't have a mouth guard on my top teeth and my teeth could touch together, he'd be walking around with 2 less fingers forever. I had a grip so good because I felt my bottom teeth go into his skin. I bet you he was cut. He knows what I'm talking about. You Dan Hooker and Arman Tsarukyan engaged in a heated exchange today on social media. The tension between the two began last month when Tsarukyan withdrew from his scheduled bout against Islam Makhachev. In response, Hooker was quick to criticize him, mocking both his decision to pull out and his privileged background. For those who may not be aware, Arman Tsarukyan comes from an extremely wealthy family. Last month, Hooker said, "That's our sport, brother. It's never smooth sailing. How are you getting injured on your day off? I've got no idea. I thought it was pretty strange, bro. To get such a severe injury that you need to pull out when you're cutting weight, you know? I don't know how you would pass up on that opportunity. I obviously saw Dana White just say that he ain't getting the title shot next, and he's going to have to work his way back up to the belt. You know, daddy can't buy you a backbone, can he? So after the news broke that Dan Hooker fractured his hand and pulled out of the fight with Justin Gaethje, Arman Tsarukyan posted this on X. He wrote, "Karma doesn't miss. Big mouth. Glass hands. Maybe just stick to talking instead of fighting. At Dan the Hangman." Hooker fired back saying, "If only your dad pulled out quicker than your last fight. Glass hand. Glass house." Mateusz Gamrot is eager to replace Dan Hooker and step in on short notice to fight Justin Gaethje at UFC 313.
UFC, I am ready. I train really hard. Give me the opportunity, and I choke. Whoa!
Alex Pereira sparred with the rapper Action Bronson. Bronson posted the footage to his Instagram. He wrote, "Thank you to the legend Alex Pereira for letting me stand with him for 3 minutes. Thank you, brother Paulinho Cruz, for letting me train at his beautiful facility." The UFC hosted a press conference for UFC 315 today, where Belal Muhammad confidently stated that he's not concerned about Della Maddalena's striking. He claimed he plans to beat him and make it look as easy as his win over Leon Edwards. In response, JDM fired back, reminding Belal that while he may have controlled most of the fight, the final 30 seconds saw Leon on top, ground and pounding him.
Will I be able to be standing? No. Will he be able to be keeping up with my boxing? I have the best striker in the welterweight division. I'm the best grappler. I'm the best wrestler. I'm the best fighter. You've seen it. Leon Edwards, he was the next one up. He was the GOAT. He knocked out Kamaru Usman, and I made it look easy. I'm going to make it look easy May 10th. People are just going to keep doubting me, and I'm just going to keep breaking those barriers. I'm going to keep showing you guys I'm the best fighter in the world. He's coming out of the kiddie pool, and he's going straight into the deep end of the ocean. This is going to be a bad night for him. And you guys are going to see it May 10th.
Easy up until the last 30 seconds, and then it wasn't so easy, but we'll see what happens.
Henry Cejudo stands by his decision to inform officials that he was seeing double at UFC Seattle, which led to the fight being stopped and Song Yadong winning via technical decision. Cejudo stated that he has no regrets, emphasizing that he would rather take a loss than risk a knockout. He acknowledged that if he had chosen to continue, a knockout was a very real possibility.
No, but honestly, Kamaru, I don't regret my decision. I don't regret my decision of, even though it's going to be counted as a loss in my record. I don't, because I wanted to give myself that shot, dude. So even when there's that minute and 16 seconds, I was like, hey man, I'm gonna ride this thing out, and then I'm gonna get another minute, and then hopefully everything comes back, and then I'm gonna go straight Marlon Moraes style on this dude in the 4th and 5th round. Because then I would know that one of those 3 rounds, obviously because I ran, that round was his, but I had to, and I would have to really man up on the 4th and 5th round, and I knew that. That's a competitor in me, and I was really calm and relaxed, dude. Like it's not like I could have acted out. I couldn't really use my acting skills, but that wasn't the point. You know, the point was for me to be composed and go back out there and try to win the fight. But when I knew that I gave this dude a 5-minute break, and the fact that he was coming back, I'm just like, dude. And then I'm seeing double of Song, dude. It just wasn't going to be fair to me, dude. So I'm just like, dude, I'm not. I can take an L, dude. I'm not going to take a knockout. Yeah. I can't see. Well, I mean, or I could see, but I'm seeing too much. I'm seeing too many of him, and that was. It's like think of like when for all you fans who are watching, like think of a computer that, you know, when it's glitchy or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Or you see like 2 screens or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it feels, and it's crazy. It's a crazy feeling, man, to say the least.
Michael Chandler has expressed growing doubts about Conor McGregor's return to the UFC. While Chandler had previously remained optimistic about a potential fight between the two, he recently told Ariel Helwani that he would not put money on McGregor making a comeback to the promotion. Ahead of his fight against Paddy Pimblett, Chandler said, "Conor is always a part of my conversations with the UFC, man. His road back to the UFC goes through me. That is the UFC sentiment, and I believe that's his sentiment. My heart of hearts says Conor is coming back at some point, but if I'm a betting man, if I'm using my brain, I wouldn't put money on it." But that's where I'm at today, right now. I'm focused on a blonde dude from Liverpool. So my heart of hearts says, I'm not sure for sure. He has to come back to his first love. Every single thing that he has can be tied back, in some way or another, to the UFC. The opportunity they gave him. Does he want this legacy to be, my last fight I broke my leg and touted the greatest comeback in combat sports history, fooled everybody for a couple of years, and then signed on the dotted line to fight Michael Chandler and then pulled out of the fight? But if I was a betting man, I ain't putting money on him fighting again. Sean Brady previews his upcoming fight against Leon Edwards at UFC London. Leon was originally scheduled to face Jack Della and Maddalena, but JDM will now challenge Belal Muhammad for the welterweight title at UFC 315. Brady's only professional loss came via TKO against Belal in 2022. Given their similar fighting styles, he plans to implement a strategy similar to Belal's, who recently defeated Leon by unanimous decision this past July.
Belal's your one loss, my bad.
Yes, but if you go look at that and the way he fought him, that's typically the way I fight. So it's definitely a good roadmap. I'm sure Leon's going to be knowing that. But for him, I took this fight on 5 weeks' notice. He's taking it. He's going from fighting a southpaw, predominantly striker boxer in Jack Della to fighting an orthodox grappler. So things have changed up a lot for him as well. So yeah, I was calling for this fight a while ago. I'm like, this is the fight I want.
Yeah, you wanted it. You wanted it before it was given to Jack.
Yes, I was on every show saying I wanted it. After my grappling match, I was asking for it. Didn't happen, but in the end, I got what I asked for. So it worked out.
Patricio Pitbull is set to make his UFC debut at UFC 314 on April 12th, where he will face Yair Rodriguez. During a recent appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Pitbull revealed that he and Yair had a hostile exchange through Instagram DMs. Pitbull claimed that he confronted Yair about possibly turning down the fight. Yair has confirmed the exchange and compared Pitbull to a quote-unquote mad girlfriend. Yair said, "I think the guy was just really excited about fighting in the UFC. I think probably the only way he was going to make that happen is if I accept the fight. Whenever he DM'd me, I said, yeah man, sure, let's do it. He was just trying to get me to react, but I'm over that f***ing shit. That for me is like a mad girlfriend move. I just don't fall for that shit." Robert Whittaker believes a fight with Sean Strickland makes sense, as they've both been competing at the top for a while without crossing paths. He finds Strickland's style intriguing and sees the matchup as an exciting challenge. Both fighters are currently coming off losses, with Robert Whittaker suffering a first-round submission defeat to Khamzat Chimaev in October, while Sean Strickland recently lost to Dricus du Plessis via unanimous decision earlier this month. On the On Paper podcast with Anthony Smith, Rob said, "I think Strickland makes a good argument to have. I feel like we've both been in that top sort of pond for a while, circling each other. For whatever reason, we haven't been matched up, but we've both been in proximity for a while. It's most likely the fight to make. I'm excited by that fight. I look at his style and I find it curious. I find it exciting to try to work out. He's a tough dude. I've obviously been working on new things, new skill sets. I want to come back this year in June. That's when I want to put my hand up to fight. It gives me a good amount of time to continue what I'm doing, but also ease into a camp properly and come in my best self." Back in September, Whittaker's manager claimed that Sean was offered to fight Rob, however Sean turned it down. Sean also publicly declined to fight with Rob after his first loss to Dricus du Plessis. He said, "I keep getting asked to fight Whittaker. I beat Izzy. The world knows I beat Dricus. Whittaker lost to both. After Rob's loss to Khamzat Chimaev, Sean labeled him as a can. He said he went hard and he fought a guy who came out really f***ing flat and doesn't give a f***. Rob is known to be either a f***ing superstar or a f***ing can, and he was a f***ing can against Chimaev. He was just met with too much pressure. After I'm done with Chimaev, he's gonna go back to peddling crypto scams." Who do you guys think wins between Rob and Sean? Post your opinions in the comments. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Doom Studios. It says, "The fight between Justin Gaethje and Dan Hooker should just get rebooked to a different date." The second one's from Hyper Reality 4. It says, "Please don't ever ask me to check out Helwani's podcast again. Thank you." And the final one's from Motor City Sobi. It says, "Nobody wants to see a rematch between Merab and Sean. Please, for the love of MMA, we do not want that. Let Corey take care of Sean so we can continue the sugar-free era." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.